Hello and welcome to the video. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. Just a quick review of ChatGPT 5.2 shopping research. This is an unscripted video. I'm just going to wing it. So let's get into it. I tried out the shopping research inside the ChatGPT client. First thing I did was search for a rocket kit suitable for 9 to 10-year-old boys with some adult supervision. This has to be available in Australia, which actually does matter because these company like Estes, you can't order their products from Australia to get mail delivered to Australia, or their engines at least. And I was looking for something that could be launched relatively easily. What ChatGPT came up with? The way it worked is, and obviously this is all completed, submitted my prompt and ChatGPT shopped or thought for about 4 minutes. It was pretty quick. In the first minute, or maybe the first minute and a half, ChatGPT was throwing up some options to me and saying, do you like this, or are you interested or not interested in this? And if I was not interested in a product, it asked me why, and there was, I think it was 5 options. It might have been price and style, and I forget the other ones, but there was an other option, and one of the ones I was rejecting or saying I wasn't interested in was because I was saying other and then typing in. It's too basic, they look like they were 6-year-olds. So after about 4 minutes, ChatGPT pumped out several options. It's actually did a pretty good job. So I was thinking of buying a rocket for a couple of my nephews for Christmas, and I'd already done some searching, old school style on the web, so I was a little bit familiar with what was available already. And I didn't end up buying anything because it was just a bit of a pain in the butt to get everything sorted. I was also a little bit worried about where these boys could launch these rockets from. Anyway, having said that, so, what ChatGPT came up with was actually pretty good. Got 2 that I liked, 2 I could have bought, and they're both Estes rockets. Covered what you get in the rockets and why it chose them. So it chose the first 2 it chose because they're complete, in air quotes, kits, or they're a launch set. So you get the rocket plus you get a launch pad and a controller, and that's not all you need though. You do need to buy engines, and you do need to buy wadding and a parachute, I think, as well. And to put these things together, which seems to be relatively simple, you do need glue and things like that. And ChatGPT kind of covered that. So it does talk about engines and which are the best engines to buy, and it is pretty confusing when it comes to buying engines. Well, at least for someone like a total noob like me, because there's different classes of engines like A, B, and C class, but there's different classes or subclasses within those classes. So ChatGPT did actually come out and suggest one to buy, the B64. So that's good. And from what I've understand, that's probably a good one to start with. And they grab this information from a human doing a review on the internet. So that's good. When you actually go to this website or one of the products, it is in stock, and that's great. That's something I did specify. And if you do read product description, you should be able to figure out, I need to buy an engine, I need to buy wadding, and some batteries, and here's some other stuff you need as well. ChatGPT didn't really cover off on that, so that's that could have been done better. But overall it was not a bad job by ChatGPT. So moving on to another product. So what I am actually in the market for right now is buying a pair of just casual sneakers, some everyday sneakers. And full disclosure here, I hate shopping. Even just mail order shopping like on the internet was a big unlock for me. So I was pretty keen to try this one out. I'm quite happy to offload or outsource as much of my shopping as I can to the internet or the AI. So I asked for a pair of casual sneakers, around $100, and size 11, US size 11. And once again, I said I want something in stock. So I did do some of this because I am actually trying to buy some sneakers right now. And I did do some web searching for this yesterday. I probably spent like 20 minutes, half an hour, I can't remember. But I just got sick of it pretty quick. I didn't buy nothing. So I was actually pretty keen to see what ChatGPT could come up with. This time I spent more time, so I spent about 7 minutes, shopping or thinking. Once again, for the first minute or minute and a half, it was asking me questions, and they were showing me options, like shoe options, and saying, is this something you're interested in or not? And I could give some feedback on why I wasn't interested in something. But then after that first minute or two, it spent like another 5 minutes shopping. And, during that time, I went and had a snack. So, I was pretty happy with that. Just to cut straight to the chase, I actually did end up buying a pair of these Nikes V5 R&Rs. So, yeah, well done, ChatGPT. Found a pair of shoes I actually wanted to buy. But, there's a bit more devil in the detail. And I will show you the options, and I'll come back to these Nikes and get back into that devil in the detail bit. So, yeah, come up with some Nikes. They're for $95. Australian, and that's actually not true. We'll come back to that. It's kind of true. It's close, but I did say I want $100, around $100. So this is true. I found something around $100. Found another pair that are that are around $130 Australian. So kind of in the price range, I guess. Then there was one for $66. That was actually well under the price range. That was good. Actually not a pair I was particularly interested in, but still, it's a good option. And then the last one, the fifth one I come up with was a shoe that I actually did quite like the style of, but it was $160, and that was way over what I said I wanted. So I'm not too sure what gave me that one. I guess there wasn't too many options around $100. Yeah, anyway, so there was really only two I was interested in: the Nikes and those $160 ones. But like I was saying, even though I like the style, that was too expensive. So anyway, let's have a look at the Nikes and what the problem was with ChatGPT throwing this up. So when you click on the options, you can see straight away it says, "Hey, we think you're in Australia. Do you want to update your location?" And as usual, the US gets way more options than we do here in Australia. So there's like what's that, 1, 2, 3? There's like 12 different styles of the shoe. So and you can't order it from Australia too, by the way. So when you flip to Australia, it just doesn't exist, or that particular one. I did a search for it on the website, the V5 R&Rs, and you can get a couple for men in Australia. These two here, well, three actually. There's two colours for this recycle one, but then it quickly switches into other shoes that weren't the price range I was after. And here you can see they're $112. They're not $95. It was $95 American, but you can get it for $112 Australian. So it's still not ridiculously out of the price range. So I did a bit of web searching because I actually wanted another style, another colour that you could see in the American site, but I kind of got sick of that pretty quick. And in the end, I was going, I actually don't mind, the color, this color. So ended up buying these, and it was on the right size. So so ChatGPT actually did find something I was interested in. It wasn't perfectly searchable. There was some errors in particular, like you can't buy these shoes for $95. It's not Australian $95. It's American US $95. It got there in the end. So I probably spent maybe 15 minutes from the time I kicked off this prompt to buying the shoes. And, I'd spent 5 minutes of that having a snack. So it's actually for someone relatively impressed, and I'll be using ChatGPT's shopping again in the future. I'll see you the next time I make a video.